Okay, so the next story I'm going to read is called Lily's Story. And I was just going to read the back part to introduce it. Introducing Lily, a rescue dog with a very important purpose. Lily is the smallest puppy in her litter and the only girl. Her brothers are bigger and stronger and like to push her around. But when Lily meets a girl named Maggie Rose at the animal shelter, Lily discovers things are not so bad. Lily's size means that she can help other animals who are in trouble. It's Lily to the rescue. Okay. Chapter 1. I had a mother and no sisters and too many brothers. We all lived inside a clean, warm kennel. Our kennel had 3 walls that I couldn't see through and one that I could. The one I could see through was made of thin wires twisted together. I could glimpse what was on the other side, but I couldn't squeeze through the gaps in the wires. None of us could, though we tried. We knew there were things out there to smell and taste and chew, more things than we could find inside our kennel home. Above us was a high ceiling, and in the back of our pen, a soft dog bed. That was where I would sleep with my mother dog, usually with one or more brothers draped across me. What I saw through the wire directly across from us was another kennel just like ours, but empty. I could smell and hear other animals outside our kennels. There were dogs who barked and dogs who didn't, and strange-smelling animals who were not dogs and made mewing sounds. Other not dogs chattered or hissed, but I never saw any of these animals, and they didn't come into the kennel with us. What are those? Cats, right? We had not always lived here. I faintly remembered a different place with different smells. There, I was cold. In the kennel, I was not. When we lived in the cold place, my only meals had been milk from my mother. Soon after arriving at the kennel, though, I ate different food. The wall that I could see through had a gate that would swing open. And then a woman would come in with soft mush in a bowl. My mother would greet this woman and lick her hands while her tail wagged happily. So I knew the lady was nice. She was safe. I could trust her. My brothers certainly trusted her. They rushed to her and jumped up toward her face and bit at her hair. I usually hung back so I wouldn't be trampled, but I liked her just the same. If I didn't have all these brothers, I could have shown the woman how much I liked her. Also how much I liked her food, which was very much. But I didn't always get to eat as much of that food as I wanted. That was because I had too many brothers. I thought about this fact a lot, especially when one of them was jumping on me or blocking me from where I wanted to go. The largest brother was white with gray splotches like me, another was black with a white tip to his tail, and the third was brown all over. They all had soft ears and big paws and busy tails. So did I. But they were all bigger than I was, a lot bigger, which seemed to lead them to believe they could push me around. It had always been hard for me to find a place to feed on my mother's milk, because a brother or two would try to shoulder me aside. In the kennel, it was hard for me to gobble up enough meaty mush from the bowl because my brothers wanted to get there first, and I couldn't always shove my way in. My brothers stepped on my face when we played. They slept on top of me until I felt flat. They were louder and quicker and rougher than I was, and when we wrestled, I always ended up on the bottom of the pile. Sometimes I thought life would just be easier without any brothers. If a brother bit my tail or fell down on my head or stuck a paw in my eye, I yipped or squealed. Then my mother would come to find me. She'd pick me up by the back of my neck. Sometimes I could feel the gentle bite of my mother's teeth on the nape of my neck before her mouth was even there, feel her warm breath, all in my imagination. My mother would carry me to the back of our kennel, where our bed was made of soft pillows on the floor. There she'd lie down with me, her body usually curled into a circle with me in the center. I loved lying with my mother. She was a girl dog, just like me. I could smell it. We were the only 2 girls in our kennel. I thought that was why she loved me best. At least I hoped she did. Sometimes, when I was curled up with my mother, I watched people walk by our kennel. That was pretty much all there was to see unless I wanted to look at my brothers. Most of the people would stride busily past, going in one direction or another. But one day, the woman who brought us food stopped at our kennel. I picked up my head with interest because she had other people with her. Smaller people who moved more quickly and a bit more clumsily than she did. Young humans. Children. My nose twitched. I could smell 2 boys and a girl. Okay, there she is with her puppies. The boys were bigger, the girl was smaller, just like my family. I glanced over at my brothers. They weren't paying any attention. As usual, they were piled up in a heap by a wall of the kennel. Brown brother was chewing on a toy. Biggest brother was chewing on Brown brother's leg. Whitetail brother was getting ready to jump on Biggest brother's head. "Oh," said the girl on the other side of the wire. It was a long, drawn-out sound that had both happiness and longing in it. "Oh, puppies!" I got up and shook myself and scampered forward to investigate. The girl knelt down and stuck her fingers through the wire. I sniffed at them. They smelled wonderful. I could pick up the scent of salty sweat and soft skin and dirt and something sticky and sweet. She giggled when I started licking. I wagged at the giggles. Then all my brothers barreled into me. Before I knew it, I was buried under wagging, panting, yipping puppies. "Get out of the way, Maggie Rose," I heard someone say. I wiggled, backing up. When I pulled my head out of the pile of brothers, I saw that the girl was no longer on her knees by the wire. The boys had pushed her to one side so that they could kneel down and put their own fingers into our kennel and laugh as my siblings licked and nibbled and squealed for attention. I was pretty sure that the girl was the sister and that the bigger boys were her brothers. I could tell by their scents. The way my litter mates smelled like me, she smelled like the two boys. Besides, I knew that pushing and shoving was exactly how brothers behaved. They all had the same brown hair, but the girls curled at her shoulders and the boys both had hair that ended close to their heads. The taller one's hair was neatly pushed to one side, while the younger boy had hair that stuck out all over. "Move over, Craig," the younger boy said, poking the larger one with his elbow. "Don't shove, Brian," the bigger one answered, pushing back. His breath had an odor on it that I would soon learn came from peanut butter. It was very attractive. I really wanted to know more about peanut butter. The girl, Maggie Rose, looked up at the woman. "Mom, why is the girl puppy so small?" she asked. "She's the runt of the litter," the woman, Mom, answered. "It happens, honey. One puppy's born small, and then it's hard for her to get her fair share of food or milk, so she doesn't grow as quickly as the others." The younger boy looked up from where he was letting Whitetail brother chew on his fingers.